There are a small number of people who are born into a gender that they don't identify with, and I will treat them, as I treat all human beings, with dignity and respect.
Will you protect women's right to single-sex spaces from any and all males, regardless of if they hold a GRC, a gender recognition certificate?
Yes is the answer to the question. It's very important, but what I will also...
You're a fucking liar. Keep snorting off Macron's on a fucking train. Don't tell me what to do, convince me what to do. But you can't convince me. You can't convince me COVID's real, and you can't convince me a man's a woman. And you can't convince me about all this fucking LGBT bullshit.
You won't believe what went down. Andrew Tate totally snapped in an explosive clash with Starmer, leaving everyone stunned. In the middle of it all, he spilled some of the most shocking secrets and unbelievable events happening across the UK right now. We're talking drama, chaos, and twists so insane that reality TV seems calm. Honestly, you'll want to catch every second, look away even briefly, and you could miss the exact moment everyone's already buzzing about.
That we should open up our borders and let in a whole bunch of people we don't know. And you can't convince me having our streets run with blood because there's endless knife crime and drugs is somehow a good idea and that London couldn't be fixed. You can't convince me of your idea. So because you can't convince me, you then want to try and force me to believe them with intimidation tactics. And that's why they don't like masculinity, because men are not intimidated. I'm not scared of you and I don't believe you. So unless you convince...
If you're loving this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really makes a difference. Now, have you ever watched someone totally lose it in public, yet can't help but cheer for them? That's exactly what's unfolding with Andrew Tate right now. He's staring down Starmer like a man with one goal. No fake smiles, no rehearsed lines, just pure, unfiltered truth. Full throttle, showing the people of the UK exactly what's happening.
I'm going to oversimplify some things, but I'm going to explain what's going on because you're confused as to why our politicians seem so evil, corrupt, and inept. So let me explain it to you. The people with the money control the politics. Most of you understand that. Politics is simply money. Lobbying, media, all this crap is owned by very, very rich people, and they basically decide who gets to...
And here's the crazy part. Most of the country is secretly rooting for him from their sofas. Because while Andrew Tate slices through the usual political spin, people see he's saying exactly what they've been feeling all along. Let's face it, Starmer keeps preaching leadership and progress, yet somehow the UK ends up feeling like a badly run theme park day after day.
Time understood they could make more money if they improve the lives and improve the quality of Western society. By improving Europe, improving America, improving the standard of living for the constituents of these countries, they could make more money. But like all things, the pendulum swings. And it got to the point where people got a little bit lazy. They wanted health care. They wanted to only work certain hours. They wanted good living conditions. And one day, the rich people woke up and realized, wait, we can make more money now by destroying Western civilization. We don't make more money by making it better because the people in the West now are very decadent. And they've started to pay a lot of attention. And they start to do these investigations. And they've started to notice how corrupt everything is.
And Andrew Tate calls it out with a bluntness that hits you like a lightning bolt. It's the kind of truth that makes you nod so hard you could pull a muscle. He zeroes in on the endless bureaucracy, the baffling rules, the blatant double standards, and all the talk with no real results. What shocks people most isn't just his words. It's the guts to actually speak them.
I'm prepared to sit here and debate with him, and I'm prepared to correct him on the things he's wrong about. And for you to sit and then you support a genocide, you're going to say I'm a bad person for saying that little girls shouldn't get stabbed by people who don't belong in the UK in the first place. I don't care if you're a Muslim, I don't care if you're a Christian, black or white.
Okay.
Nobody should be turning up into the country without a passport.
I'm going to
Absolutely
respond.
Nobody.
I'm going to respond by saying this. I believe that successive Labour and Conservative governments have completely lost control of immigration to our country, both legal and illegal.
Andrew Tate isn't the type to sit back and analyse policies quietly. He's yelling, pacing, gesturing, trying to make the obvious clear to people who refuse to listen. And oddly enough, it works. People aren't mocking him, they're cheering him on. He tears through Starmer's agenda like a wrecking ball. Healthcare, taxes, energy, driving laws, nothing is safe. Empty promises? Gone. Common sense solutions suddenly feel revolutionary. People are thinking, why hasn't anyone said this before? And his Twitter? It's more like a national alert system than a social feed.
European countries, you could argue that America was founded multiracially. You could argue that. The British people are a type of people. They're an ethnicity. They're a type of people from one place and one part of the earth. And once they lose it, they have nowhere else to go. That's all they have. And they're being replaced in real time. And their leader, Keir Starmer, is letting it happen. And if you talk about it, you go to jail. All of this is happening right now. And unless the men do something and replace him with somebody who cares, they're going to be replaced.
Now, let's focus on how Andrew Tate delivers his message, because that's half the story. He doesn't wait for dramatic pauses, he makes them. It's raw, explosive, and totally unrehearsed. While Starmer maintains his calm, measured tone, Andrew Tate's energy hits like an earthquake, shaking the walls to expose every crack. The audience notices. They're engaged, not just amused. While UK media sugarcoats issues with polite headlines, Andrew Tate is out there yelling, gesturing, demanding answers like it's a viral dare. Every word bursts with passion and a hint of theatre. He paces, gestures, even throws an eye roll that screams, seriously? Viewers at home love it, it's authentic. Finally, someone is cutting through the polite spin with brutal honesty that's almost shocking, But
if I said to you, I have to make a bet, I have to bet billions of dollars on the UK getting better or the UK getting worse. Well, if I bet on it getting better, I now have a whole bunch of work to do. I have to make it a better place. Do you have any idea how difficult that is? But if I bet on it becoming a worse place, well, that's easy. Very easy to make it worse. You just leave it as it is and bore a bunch of people who don't really like the place. Stoke civil tensions with the media. Make the prices of everything go up a little bit so people are angry and poor.
Here's the wild part. People don't just find it entertaining, they find it painfully relatable. For years, the public has quietly complained about confusing laws, poor leadership, soaring energy bills, and endless empty promises. Andrew Tate doesn't just echo those frustrations, he cranks them up, turning them into a performance that makes everyone feel part of this chaotic truth movement. Every time Starmer tries to intervene, Andrew Tate is already miles ahead, swatting aside excuses, exposing vague statements, and pointing out contradictions that have been obvious for years. If it weren't so captivating, Starmer would look like a man showing up to a sword fight armed with a spoon. Andrew Tate is relentless, raw, fearless, and exactly what people have been waiting decades to hear. The crowd knows it, nodding, sharing clips, messaging friends, all thinking the same thing. Finally, someone is speaking the truth.
Where a lot of the culture is being eroded, and it's being eroded by an Islamic immigration. And this is going to make Muslims mad when I say it, but I understand why the native Brits feel threatened by that and are unhappy with that. When you talk about crime statistics, it's difficult because you can do the same thing with black people in the United States. But black people are a part of the United States. It's seen as racist to say that they're a lower percentage of the population, but they commit more of the crime. But you can do the same with black people in the United States. But black people live here and they're always going to live here. I like to be ultra realistic about all things. And I like the idea of Britain retaining its culture and feeling like England. A lot of the stabbing that happens in the UK isn't from Muslims particularly. It's actually from Christians from Africa. A lot of it's third worlders. A lot of it's black youths inside of London who do most of the stabbing, the majority of it.
Andrew Tate dives headfirst into the big issues: energy policies, the health crisis, crime, and the endless traffic chaos politicians keep promising to fix. Suddenly, it all makes sense. It's like someone held up a mirror to the UK, but this mirror is shouting, waving its arms, and raising an eyebrow to drive the point home. Every line is a challenge, every gesture a statement, every sigh a manifesto. Andrew Tate doesn't just talk, he performs. The public can't look away. He paints scenes everyone recognises: overworked staff, frustrated citizens, bureaucrats drowning in paperwork. And everyone watching thinks the same thing. Finally, someone said it. Then, his take on taxes and energy bills? absolutely jaw-dropping.
His face. That's the face of evil. Keir, when you lock me up in Belmarsh, which I know you're going to do, that's fine. That is the face of evil, sir. Look at that. That is incompetence incarnate. Look, that's all a leader. England was the greatest country in the world. I watched. It brought tears to my eyes. I watched the Battle of Cairo. I watched Nelson fight the French fleet. A YouTube video. At the Battle of Cairo, I even tweeted it in full. The heroism showed by the Brits only 200 years ago. These were the best men on the planet. Thailand, tiny island with the large...
Starmer talks about fairness and sustainable solutions in his usual vague, cautious tone. Andrew Tate's reaction? Pure shock, like Penguins secretly ran the Ministry of Finance. He tears through the nonsense, exaggerates it, and turns a dull debate into a full-blown stage show, part outrage, part comedy. Instead of splitting people, Andrew Tate brings them together. Call it like it is, expose failures, never back down. In a world of tiptoe politicians, that boldness feels revolutionary. He even highlights the systems meant to inform the public, showing just how bewildering they really are. The audience loves it. They've felt this for years, and now someone is yelling it with energy no one dared before.
Party. All the leaders of Western countries have failed. They're enforcing a generational failure upon their constituents. Donald Trump is the future of the Western world. Everybody knows it, and everybody needs to get in line and obey him. Donald Trump is going to annex Greenland and take Canada and take Mexico, take all of it. The American empire is back. We're done with this crap. Elon owns X. I get to tell the truth. All of your lies are being exposed, and I cannot wait for the disinfectant of sunlight to come down and exonerate my brother and I, because we have done nothing wrong since the beginning of this. The chance of me becoming UK Prime Minister within the next 10 years is somewhere near 100%, because I'm one of the most well-known people on the planet who can self-fund, and everybody understands, even if you don't like...
Then comes Andrew Tate's cultural commentary, funny, sharp, and painfully on point. He tears into absurd trends, half-baked government schemes, and rules that make people groan. Are you kidding me? He's not mean, just brutally honest, exposing bureaucracy that turns daily life into an obstacle course. The public eats it up, nodding, laughing, realizing they weren't imagining it. Social media erupts with clips and memes. Andrew Tate flips the script, making ordinary citizens the heroes. People are done with slow progress, they want answers, straight talk, and Andrew Tate delivers it. Loud, clear, and unapologetically real.
I spent my teenage years in the UK. I feel very British. The British were the hardest, strongest, most resilient people on the planet. When the British were coming, only the Americans seemed to have beat them. You were scared when the British were coming. We sailed all around the world. Opioid wars in China, Battle of Cairo, Waterloo, you name it. We beat Napoleon. We did, the Brits. And now look, soy face is locking us up for having an opinion. And we're sitting there on our asses, afraid to say anything. This exact clip will be played in front of a judge when they lock me up. But it has to be said, because that is not the...
Starmer tries to explain, but Andrew Tate is already 3 moves ahead, turning every point into a zinger. Chaos, truth, and sarcasm collide, and the UK can't look away. People feel seen. Andrew Tate isn't polite or politically correct. Every line bursts with humour, exaggeration, and sharp insight. By the end, Starmer's polished image is in tatters, and the audience is cheering, sharing clips, and thinking the same thing. Finally, someone is saying exactly what we've all been feeling.